8th grade surface area. Prism. You've got S equals capital PH. And you've got S equals capital PH plus 2B. This is total. And this is lateral. If we can read the formulas, the rest is golden. The rest should be easy, easy. All right. There are 2 types of prisms that you're mainly going to work with. There are lots of prisms out there. Cool thing, this formula works for every single prism that exists. Imagine in your head that you want to make bubbles. Like you're going to make a big triangular prism bubble. So you have to make your little bubble dipper. And you're going to dip it in the bubbles. And then you're going to pull it. Have you ever seen those things where like it's a big tube and they dip it in the bubbles and then they pull it up and it makes that big tube that they like put the person in? Have you seen those? Like the person stands in like a hula hoop of bubbles and they like dip the bubble thing and then they pull it up and you're in a bubble.
Oh, my mom's been in one.
Yeah. Does everybody see? I might try to find a video or something. But you know what I'm talking about? So in my head, and maybe you have a different way of visioning it, a triangular prism is kind of like that. Like, you're going to make a bubble that's a triangle. So first you have to make the frame that's the triangle part. And then you're going to dip it in your bubble. And then you're going to take your triangle bubble frame and you're going to pull it up so that you have a triangle bubble. Does that make sense at all? That's how I see it. If there's a better, I can't think of anything else that like stretches like that aside from bubbles. So like a cylinder, if you have a circle, and you take your circle and you dip it in your bubbles and you pull it up, you'd have like a cylinder bubble.
How about a slinky?
A slinky if it was a triangle. So if you have like a triangle slinky, you make the size of the triangle and then you slinky it so it's a lot of triangle slinky. I think I've always thought triangular prisms as like a bubble because, well, we'll get there. So we'll do a triangle. We'll do a triangle one first. So if you draw a triangle, I'm going to do a right triangle because I can draw those better than others. And then go over and down a little bit. Draw the same triangle-ish. And then connect your vertices. So I have 2 triangles. Connect the tops. Connect the corners. Connect the corners. Triangular prism. So the tricky part about a triangular prism is always the bases. What is the base of a triangular prism? What was the first word I said? So the bases are triangles. So remember, if you go back somewhere, we talked about first name, last name, first name base, last name family. So if it's a triangular prism, first name is the base. The first thing you say, this is a triangular prism, so my bases are triangles. So shade the base. I'm going to shade in my bases. Prisms have 2 bases. That's where this 2 comes from. I'm going to back up to my formula. P stands for perimeter of base. P is the perimeter of base. H is height of base. I'm sorry. H is distance between bases. So H is height of prism. So that's, if I perimeter, I make my bubble frame and I dip it in the bubbles. It has to be the triangle. Dip it in the bubbles. And then I'm going to stretch it up to the other triangle. So if I dip it in the bubbles here, and then I have to stretch my bubble up, that's this part. And then total, I have to add in the top and the bottom. So pH, perimeter, height of prism, and then capital B is area of base. And then if we number these, you've got, let's make our triangle 5 tall, 3 wide, 4, and then hypotenuse of 6. Six, 5, 4, 3. This is the hypotenuse. It's a fun word to say. So, we're going to find the surface area of this triangular prism. Step 1. Write the formula. Seriously. So I'm going to do S equals capital PH plus 2B. Step 2, find the perimeter. We're going to just work it left or right. Step 2, find the perimeter of base. And we shaded the bases. So the perimeter of this triangle is what? What are the 3 numbers that go with the triangle? 5, 6, and 3. So if I go 5, 6, and 3. So 5 plus 6 plus 3. 5 plus 6 plus 3 is 14. That is capital P. What is the distance between my bases? 4. That is H. So up here, label that H. So I'm going to 3 height of prism is 4. H equals 4. Now, area of the base. This is where we might make a mistake. Area of the base. So, step 4. Area of the base, we're going to kind of divert. Area of base. What shape is the base? Triangle. So we're going to write the formula. So formula for a triangle is A equals what? 1/2 BH. So what is the base of the triangle? 3. Oh, sorry. Base of the triangle is 3. What's the height of the triangle? 5. So 3 times 5 is, and half of 15, 7.5. This is my capital B. Capital B, area of the base, is 7.5. Write the formula. Since it's a triangle, I don't want you to forget how to find area of a triangle. Last step. Because the prism is how far apart the bases are. If you imagined you had triangles and you stacked those triangles over and over and over again, how tall would those triangles stand before? That's why we can't assume that the rectangle is the base, because then we would think that 5 is the height, but it's not. Height is the distance between the bases. Like if you stacked triangles over and 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 over. All right. Step 5. We're going to plug in numbers, and solve. So we had S equals, how much was perimeter? 14. How much was the height?
4.
How much was area of bases?
7.5.
So what's 14 times 4? Plus, and what's double 7.5? And so 56 plus 15, 71. Now, lateral area was 14 times 4. So this is my lateral area. This is my total. And that's the formula for surface area.